Being back to campus is very special to me. This is an incredible institution for me, and it's home. And not many environments can make you feel like home after 10 years. So thanks for having me. A couple other quick thank yous. Karen Peterson, Craig Van Sant, thanks so much for thinking of me and in this day, as well as all the business staff. Jim and Carol Horseman, for all your support and service to Augustana. You've made a difference, and you continue to make a difference in your support and in your service, and with individual students, such as the former student standing in front of you. Thank you. Coach Jesse, Coach G, who couldn't be here, for recruiting me, for finding me, for your instincts that I would be a good fit for Augustana, and Augustana would be a good fit for me. And your support from 1999 through the day. You have provided me some of my most valuable education. Thank you. So it's been 10 years for me, which has given me a great opportunity to reflect where I've been as a professional and where I've been as a student. And although it seems like yesterday, a couple fun facts to evidence that it was clearly not yesterday. One is I never sent a text message in my college career. Two, my cell phone looked like a mini toaster. My email address was mpassananti@aol.com. I had a VHS player my freshman and sophomore year, and the iPod was non-existent. I thought these are fun facts to share as I age myself, but this is business day, and this is the business school, so let's get down to business. What I wanted to do, my goal today, is to leave you with some deliverables, the students, a couple things that you can focus on which will hopefully add value to you in your young career. And those are just 5 things that I'm going to go over. And the first item is to eliminate negativity. The second item is to embrace and understand your Augustana advantage. The third is that there's no substitute for hard work. The fourth is you should master the art of networking. And the fifth is you should dream deep and you should dream often. So to go one by one there is to eliminate the negativity. And so I think that your generation has been beat up by the press and the economy as well, is to where many things are spun that there's limited opportunities for you. You should expect to limit your upward mobility. You've been called the ninja generation, no jobs, no income, no assets. And what I think about that is I think it's baloney. I think it's hogwash. Personally, I think there's many opportunities out there for you. You may have to find those opportunities through other avenues. But I think that you guys are the only ones who control the way you feel. And a bad economy or things within the media has nothing to do with you. So remain positive. You control your thoughts. And I think a couple key pointers there is if you do see a negative piece of press, throw the piece of press out or turn it off. If you're involved in a peer group who are fueling negative activity or fueling negative conversation, walk away and go do something positive that's going to help you have a better career, that they can waste their breath and you can move forward. And if there's anybody else that says, well, I feel sorry for your generation, just look them in the eye and tell them you'll just be just fine. And thanks for your concern. So those are things related to negativity that I've just seen in mentoring young people that I don't want that attitude to continue. The second is understand and embrace your Augustana advantage. The liberal arts education is a very diverse education which many of your peers have not experienced. You don't know that because you haven't been out in the real world to see how much of an advantage and how different that you are. But take time to understand that and make sure that you relay it in any career opportunities, how different you are. You've had so many diverse learning experiences and extracurricular activities and other items that is added to your value as a person, as a student, and an ultimate professional. So when don't be shy to tell an employer, a lot of them are sitting in this room, how your psychology coursework has helped you be a better finance student, how your writing skills and your communication skills have helped you become a better, business professional, and that your extracurricular activities have show that you embrace hard work and you're a multitasker. And I think all of the employers in the room will understand that those are incredible characteristics that they desire. So embrace it, think about it, and tell them about it. Always tell them about it tactfully, but tell them. The third is to put your hard hat on and expect to work. It is the worst economy in 100 years. You will have opportunities, but when you do have the opportunities, work at it and work hard. Before I was involved in my careers, I'm lucky and humble enough to be able to represent a lot of high net worth families. And I kind of always thought that those families had gotten lucky, they've been in the right place at the right time, they've inherited wealth, and 95% of them are the hardest working people I've ever seen. And I get a front row seat to see how hard they work, and there's no substitute for it. So make sure you spend time embracing and thinking about what you want and what you want to do, and then when you have that passion, go work at it. Fourth is master the art of networking. From the beginning of your career and throughout your career, networking is one of the single most important things that you can do. Your networking forms who you are, where you go, and it also forms your reputation. Networking is simply developing personal and interpersonal relationships with professionals and people that will grow your opportunities. Grow your opportunities when you're a professional, or more importantly now, grow your opportunities to get opportunities. For those in the room who are actively searching for a job, there's always more networking to be done. So be thoughtful about it and really think through the networking. And something related to your generation, which I think President Balls said just incredibly correct, is your generation has the technology skills to network in a way that's never been done before. I think because you've relied on that technology throughout your lives, some of the interpersonal or the meetings or the face-to-faces, you may have to work on some of those skills. But if combining with work and your technology advantages, you can really make a difference. And some of those students, I'll go through, is there any students, raise their hand, who are interested in banking in the room? Banking, yeah. And this activity right here is by no means to limit or think that you're not doing a good job networking, but a couple of things to run through is, if you're interested in a banking opportunity, is have you met with family members who are in the banking industry? Have you had meetings with friends who are in the banking industry? Have you set up career counseling meetings at Augustana? Have you got the top 25 list of bankers who've graduated from Augustana? And have you met all the bankers in the room today? And if your answer to any of those is no, there's always more to do. So think about it, get motivated, and network. And people ask me all the time, and I was just talking with a peer, is how I got started and how I've been lucky enough to build a client base at a fairly young age. And I went through some of my marketing strategies with that peer. And he was, he came with some of his, and then I said, but through the last 10 years, I don't think I've ever ate alone. And he laughed, and he said, well, I don't know what that means. I said, I did some quick math, and I said, in 10 years, I think I've had 2,000 coffees, lunches, or dinners. And he laughed, and I said, that's the honest to God truth. So the network that's grown out of those 2,000 lunches and dinners has allowed me to create opportunities professionally, and also allowed me to get the opportunities that I had to start my career. And the final thing related to networking is never be afraid to ask, because people want to help. Whether that's alumni or people that you're interviewing or networking with. And my networking 101, which we never take a class in networking, was in Coach G's office about 3 or 4 weeks after the season. He said, Pass, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I'm going to go to law school. I'd like to get some experience in the summer. And Coach G style, because he cares so much about his players and he's the master networker himself, he breaks out the chalkboard and starts listing lawyers who I can contact. Soon enough, we got calls with a bunch of them, and then we engaged the development office, who gives me 5 more names. We talked to a guy named Mike Morkin at Baker & McKenzie, Baker & McKenzie's arguably the largest law firm in the world. We hit it off, we talked, so I got great insight and knowledge from an Augie guy just wanting to help, so don't be afraid to ask. And then I wasn't afraid to ask, and Mike Morkin, by the way, in Baker & McKenzie, rarely accepts anybody, A, who doesn't have a law degree, and B, who doesn't have a law degree from Harvard or Yale. But why not? Mike, I know I haven't stepped foot in law school, but I'd love to work at your firm for the summer. And he said, I'd love to have you. I'll have a cube outside the office, be there in 2 weeks, I can't pay you. And to this day, so just out of asking, I was in the biggest law firm in the world before I stepped foot in law school, and it's provided to be some of my most incredible experiences. And the insight behind that is network, and my network and the Augustana network led to that, and then never be afraid to ask. And then finally, dream deep and dream often, and dream detailed. And so what that means is spend some time each day about where you're going and what you're going to do, and start at the big picture and drill down to the details. So what are you going to do? What industry are you going to be in? And then once you've decided that, what's your office look like? Or if you're running a business, what does your facilities or plants look like? If you're in professional services, who are your clients? If you're a trader or you're just interested in profit, what does your tax return look like? Fill out a tax return. And those are all things that you laugh about, that you say, well, that's just pie in the sky stuff, but it works over time as you start to believe yourself where your path will go. It's funny how many times that will come true and your subconscious will turn into reality. And I got this advice years ago, and it's something I, to this day, do every day, whether it's 2 minutes in the morning or falling asleep or in the shower, is dream. And one of my favorite stories related to dreaming and vision is the Jim Carrey story. So in 1990, he was a struggling comedic in LA, and he would drive his old beat-up Toyota to the top of LA, overlook LA each night, and then imagine where he was going to be. So he had, and then the next day went and approached opportunities each day. Still wasn't getting anything. In 93, 94, he finally broke in, and I think he got Ace Ventura and Pet Detective. Both movies paid him $800,000. But right before those movies in 1990, he wrote himself a check for $10 million. And he made it out for just before Thanksgiving of 1995. And every day he went to work. He landed Ace Ventura. He landed another, and then right before 1995 and Thanksgiving, he signed on for Dumb and Dumber for $10 million. So it was something that he envisioned every day, he looked at, he kept a check in his wallet, and he kept working at it. So I just personally love this story. So I would say see it and believe it, never be ashamed to do that. You know, I certainly believe in you. I certainly believe in your future. I'm here to help. I want to give you any insight or advantage that you deserve to have. Thanks for having me. Best of luck at the start of your careers. Thank you.